Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to THFE Productions. I'm Oakley Hadif, and we're going to be going over some more Destiny news. So I'm going to start off talking briefly about the Bungie's latest mail sack. Now this one basically did not have that much info about Destiny. I mean, it had a good amount of information about Bungie in general and how they operate, but not much news in terms of Destiny stuff, so I wanted to wait for more content. So what you'll be seeing briefly after I talk about the mail sack is going to be some more images that have surfaced. Now these aren't entirely new, they were at the PS4 conference, but the fact is we didn't really see these. Not many people picked it up on them because they weren't published. So we'll be looking at those, and they are pretty cool and pretty revealing. But anyways, about the mail sack, as you open it up, the first question they address is, why are you guys why are you guys explicitly not saying that Destiny is an MMO? Bungie responds that basically they are not making an MMO because they're making a new genre of game that they're not really sure what it is. It's basically, as we've said multiple times before, it's a really social FPS. Bungie says the best way to describe it would be a BNG FPS. So it's a Bungie FPS, but they don't want to be terribly presumptuous, so they're saying, we'll let you guys give it whatever name you want, but they are basically stating that they're defining it in whatever way they want. Next, they follow up by talking about, what are the main reasons to play co-op? And then Bungie says in response that there's a ton of reasons. We've built the game from the ground up to be more fun. If you play it socially, there's lots of social environments, lots of things you can do in groups that make it even better. I'm going to remind you guys that they have said also that the game is fully playable by yourself, but that it's built essentially such that every encounter will be more fun with players. So basically in this mail sack, Bungie is trying to address that. Then they talk about what were the greatest obstacles in creating a new game. They have a panel of people who respond, and then they say, what are your other fallback games? So like, what do you do in your spare time in terms of other gaming? Stuff like that. They talk about sound effects, backstory. And Bungie says, guys, we're putting a lot of work into this, but we'll be revealing the information soon. So no new information in this mail sack, but Bungie basically says, we'll be addressing more in-depth stuff about the story soon, the Cabal soon, various alien races soon. We'll be doing a lot more stuff soon. So, stay tuned. I'll be on top of that. Now, next is going to be the unnoticed art. This was published on 343industries.org. I picked it up there. Adam made the post. I worked with him for the Destiny Parallels with the Seven Heavens theory. And basically what he did is he posted a bunch of screenshots from the PS4 conference. So in the background of the panel, there were screenshots. The screenshots themselves weren't released, as images themselves. So what you had to do was get images of the images that were floating in the background. But anyways, let's take a look at this. First one right here looks pretty cool. It's got some human architecture to it. A giant sun or planet in the background. You can see this tower on the right looming over this cool environment. So this seems to be really cool. So maybe it could be Mercury, which is the planet closest to the sun, because in the background you can see something that would presumably be the sun right there. So maybe you can travel to Mercury. Next image is going to be a large wall here. You can see clouds, destroyed debris all around it. This is going to be the main wall surrounding the primary city under the Traveler. So this is going to be the way you exit and enter the main city here. You can see it's destroyed, it's been under attack. And I'm guessing outside of here it's fully deserted, and that's once you leave the city you enter the wilderness. Maybe that's where you'll run into enemies and do raids and scavenge and do all sorts of stuff. The next image here has a human warlock character, or the warlock equivalent, sorry. So that's going to be one of the guardians on the left, and he's using his one of his magic abilities. You can see it right there, that purple energy basically blasting the space zombie there in the face. What's cool about this is you can see there are various levels of these space zombies, sort of the smaller drones than the larger guy who kind of looks like a Fallen character in the back. And this is similar to some Destiny concept art we've seen in the past. And this just looks really cool, again highlighting the use of magic and the different enemies in this dungeon. It seems like you'll be fighting big groups of enemies, so combat will be frenzied and hectic. Next one we can see here is a human soldier approaching this building. He's approaching from the forest, so maybe what this means is we'll be seeing stealth elements in the game. You can see some lighting there, so maybe there's perhaps some enemies are stationed up there and you can go on a raid on their camp. All sorts of stuff like that. I don't know, not too much to draw from these images besides the fact that you might be able to play in varied locations. Here you can see obviously forest environments, you'll play there. Also, it takes place at night. They have said there'll be dramatic time of day effects, so you'll be able to play at night, and maybe there'll be specific stealth missions that you can do where you have to raid, enemy positions and all that. Next one here, you can see a human with what looks to be some sort of machine gun, and as I've said before, all weapons are customizable, so you'll be able to get new weapons, upgrade your armor, and do all sorts of stuff like that. And you can see right here he's fighting one of the what looks like a fallen character. It's a little hard to see at this angle, but that is, I'm pretty sure, a fallen. He looks pretty big, so obviously their stature will be greater than humans, so they'll be kind of like in Halo when you play against the elites. They're bigger than the humans. I think they'll behave similarly. Next, right here, what you can see is this is believed to be another fallen character, but this is a high-ranking one. So the fallen have been stated to be a nomadic group of people splintering into various factions, and within each of the alien races there'll be various levels. So this guy here is obviously going to be a higher ranking one. He's leading them. Maybe he's kind of like the equivalent of a prophet in terms of looking at the Halo and the Covenant. He would be maybe a higher ranking leader. You can see some of his troops moving through this abandoned alleyway, so maybe we'll see a lot of close quarter combat and various ranked enemies, as you can see right there. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, anyways guys, thanks so much for tuning in. That's about it for now. Go ahead and analyze these images as you wish, and stay tuned to the channel. We'll bring you more news as it comes. And yeah, so see you guys around. Peace out.